How to be a far better cyclist in 7 steps. Becoming a far better, fitter, faster cyclist doesn't got to be an experiment in self-torture. Cycling is fun. Just set some goals and plan your riding to ascertain improvement. We're not trying to form a replacement you. All we would like is for you to urge the maximum amount of enjoyment out of your cycling as possible, and most significantly, improve. The good news is, it's not that tough to realize, and providing you follow a couple of simple words of recommendation and use some sense, the time you spend on your bike are going to be better than ever. Structure your riding time to be a far better cyclist. There shouldn't be a limit to what you'll achieve on the motorcycle. Providing you would like it enough, you'll ride whenever and wherever. That's the good thing about cycling. The more you set in, the more you get out of it. But you are got to find out what you would like. This is often the primary step. It might be a 50-mile summer ride, it might be to hurry up your commute to figure, it could even be to try to a race. Whatever it's, remember there's nobody stopping you. Should you really train sort of a pro? Goals are goodies to possess. Without them, you're just floating along. Don't be ashamed at how small or big your goal is. Providing there's an idea in situ, then there's no reason why you can't get there. Okay, becoming a Tour de France rider within the space of 6 months may be a little optimistic, but don't be afraid to think big. On the opposite hand, if your goal is to ride to the cafe once every week, then choose it. Remember, it's what you would like to urge out of it. Being at work doesn't mean your fitness has got to suffer. 1 specific, 2 measurable, 3 attainable, 4 realistic, 5 time specific. It's an honest rule of thumb to follow, and pretty self-explanatory. By asking yourself, smart ensures you recognize your goal inside out, what it involves, and once you should be reaching it by. Some people feel a touch embarrassed about jotting down what they need to realize, because it could seem a tad serious. But it's extremely useful. It shows that you simply want to require your cycling seriously, you would like to become fitter, and most significantly, you would like to enjoy it more. Putting something in your diary makes it far more likely to happen, and research even states that those that set goals are more likely to stay to what they began to try to do. Stepping stones to being a fitter cyclist. Once you've got identified your end goal, subsequent step is to line some smaller in between goals. Some call them stepping stones or process goals. Whatever you would like to label them, having them in sight will help provide structure and make sure you are getting into the proper direction. For example, your main goal for the year is to record part in a whole-day ride. Great. Now consider what this entails. Stepping stones. Take the mileage. You aren't getting to be ready to bash out 100 miles immediately. This will need progression and a slow increase of rides that build up the miles. Nutrition is another thing that must be taken into consideration. What to eat to make sure your body is fed well and is recovering properly. How far would you attempt to be a far better cyclist? Then bike fit, which will make your riding comfortable, and possibly the introduction of sport masseurs to iron out any ache or soreness which will occur from lengthy riding. These smaller goals you'll not consider immediately, but are vital so as to realize what you've got began to try to do. Set the top goal and work back to the present moment, brooding about what must be achieved to succeed in the checkered flag. Not training but riding. Having an idea like this doesn't mean you're a geek, it's there to assist. And therefore the quicker your goals and stepping stones are identified, the quicker you'll set about them. Now, that doesn't mean you've got to travel out training and punish yourself. As we've mentioned, structure is important. You don't need to become a lab rat and tweak your body by the SharePoint, but just a few organization hebdomadally will help keep you progressing forward. Don't see your stepping stones as training. See them as cycling. Be creative. Ride different routes, arrange some weekend riding, grab some mates and ride to a rustic pub. It all adds up and can be productive in conjunction with what you would like to realize, regardless of what it's. How to tell whether you're overtraining, and the way to avoid it. That's what's brilliant about cycling. If you would like to urge a beach body for the summer, you've got to toil away within the gym, running on treadmills and lifting weights, pushing your body through barriers that are grueling and monotonous. That's the sole way you'll get there. 2 of six-packs, bulging biceps and perky pectorals. If you would like to urge better at cycling, all you've got to try to do is hop on a motorcycle. It's something you're keen on doing anyway, and therefore the sheer sort of what you'll do on 2 wheels will confirm you never get bored or lose motivation. And remember, the fitter you become, the more the chances become endless. 7 ways to become a fitter, better cyclist. Some are fitness-based, some are fun-based, some technique-based. These aren't set goals. They're tips and concepts to assist you become a far better, fitter and stronger cyclist. 1. Up your average speed by 1 mile per hour. You can easily go a mile an hour faster on your next ride without even being any fitter. It's all right down to technique. Being an efficient rider and knowing the way to carry speed will cause you to faster and conserve your energy, so it's a crucial skill to practice on every ride. Cornering is a clear situation. Once you could lose tons of speed. Commit it to memory. Isn't how briskly you enter the corner that counts, but what proportion speed you carry through it. If you enter too hot and need to slam the brakes, the on will slow you down significantly. Descending, and particularly descending before a hill, is another area to seem at. If there's an uphill after a descent and you'll see it's safe, don't brake, otherwise you will lose your momentum. Pedaling into a descent and holding your speed will allow you to roll up the opposite side with barely any effort in the least. Finally, believe your positioning. Wind drag is the thing that slows cyclists down the foremost, so to travel a touch faster, believe minimizing your frontal cortex. Hold the drops rather than the tops of the bars and obtain low down. 2. Ride in total comfort. Cycling shouldn't be uncomfortable, although we all know that bike riders often suffer aches and pains. However, there's tons you'll do to avoid it. Having knowledgeable bike fit may be a good start line, as mechanically your bike must suit you. Conditioning your body to carry your cycling posture has got to happen off the bike. Core exercises and techniques like Pilates strengthen the muscles that support your body, allowing you to stay your upper body still and providing a stable platform to pedal against, also is stopping you from slumping within the saddle. Three. Get more cycling into your week. Finding longer to ride your bike may be a challenge for each bike rider, and 2 things help: being creative and being organized. These 2 qualities will allow you to seize every opportunity that comes your way. The most obvious way of paying longer on your bike is to ride to figure. Albeit you can't cycle the complete distance, just riding to the station will offer you longer on your bike. 4. Never get the bunk. Running out of energy on the bike may be a decidedly unpleasant experience, but one which will be very easily avoided if you think that about your nutrition before and through your ride. Sports nutrition doesn't need to mean eating expensive supplements. Bananas, cereal bars and jam sandwiches all contain many easily absorbed carbohydrates, are convenient to hold and straightforward to eat. 5. Ride 100 miles. A century ride may be a daunting task, but if you're taking some time and eat well, it's within the reach of each bike rider. There are several steps you'll fancy make it easier. Firstly, plan your route wisely, taking under consideration wind direction and hills. Put the toughest hills at the beginning of the ride, or avoid them altogether, and, if you'll, finish with a tailwind to assist blow you home. 6. Love hills. There are more reasons to like hills than hate them, but however, hills have a poor reputation with bike riders. Hills cause you to fit. They'll make your legs hurt and your lungs burn, but riding hills regularly will build leg strength and, by forcing you to figure a touch bit harder than usual, they are going to boost your cardiovascular fitness too. Don't avoid them if you would like to urge faster. Hills give variety to your rides. You see more from the highest of a hill and it breaks up the pace, allowing you to possess fun on the descents and push yourself on the high. The more hills you ride, the higher you get, and you'll start to find out the various sorts of hills that suit you best. Try timing yourself up an extended hill and throughout the year repeat the test and see some time come down. 7. Ride together with your mates. We often see a gaggle of men speeding along in file, more content with utilizing slipstream instead of socializing. Wouldn't it's great to ride together and chat instead of fixating on the wheel ahead of you? It's not a criminal offense to talk when cycling, and being of an equivalent ability as your mates will enable you to try to do this. No one wants to be the slow coach, where everyone waits for you at the highest of every hill. Nor does one want to be begging for a press on the rear to assist get you up that monster of a hull. Get fit, get fast, and ride together with your friends the entire day.